Good evening, good evening, good evening, all of my gems and gents. Welcome to another episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast. I'm your girl Mel V, and this is Truth Hurts. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know it's been a while since y'all have seen an episode of Truth Hurts, so today we're going to make it good. To all of y'all getting ready for the holidays, happy almost Thanksgiving, almost Turkey Day. Hope y'all are in the kitchen cooking it up and ready to eat some good food. To most people's surprise this year, I am not cooking. So if you're in the area and want to drop off a plate, feel free. Shout out to all of my diamond sisters all over the country. Love you guys. Shout out to all of our supporters. For all of you that missed our open enrollment. Big shout out to all of our new gems who will officially become diamonds as we transition into our new writing year. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. So today, we're going to get into a little sticky, juicy topic. And that is, I'm sexy too. What's the real definition? So for many of you, we see social media depicts what is and what isn't sexy. They have their own definition of what's sexy. And I have a really dope guest that I'm going to introduce in a few that's going to help me talk about this. But I want to give you the definition, the actual definition of sexy. So per the dictionary, it says sexy means sexually appealing, attractive, or exciting, having interesting or appealing qualities. So what determines that? Is it what you wear? Is it your skin color? Is it your hair length? Is it your complexion? Is it your weight? Is it your confidence? Is it everything that you embody and exude that determines sexy? What is that? And so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to bring in my guest, my dear friend, singer extraordinaire and philanthropist, La V. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that. So let me bring her on. Hey, Lavi.
Hey now.
Hey. Welcome to the Hustle and Shine podcast and to Truth Hurts. You are a Hustle and Shine virgin.
I am.
So welcome. So tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Let them know who you are, what you do, a little bit about you. Introduce yourself. Get them acquainted.
Just a little bit.
Get them acquainted with who my fabulous friend is.
Okay, cool. So please excuse the look. I'm trying to get myself together. So I just came from a quick workout. But
you're sexy.
Trying to get it together. So who is La Vie? I am a mom. I am a woman. I am a singer. I am a daughter. Oh, sister. I'm a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what I do, I sing a lot of times, but where my heart is for people and giving back to the community. So you mentioned the philanthropy side of things. I do have a nonprofit organization called Give Thanks Inc. And we're here to aid children in need. Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of other things too.
Y'all over.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, trying to make sure that I create legacy.
Awesome. Well, as you've heard, you know about our topic. And the reason why I wanted you on the show today is because you were my inspiration for this topic. So, you said yikes. So, a couple weeks ago, remember we were having a conversation and you got called for a gig. And then you got, I guess, a call or email back basically saying that although vocally you were phenomenal, they didn't feel like you were sexy enough.
Right.
For the show.
Right.
First of all, to hell with them. Yeah,
they tripping.
Right. Like, get up off my friend. But it really made me think. And I was just like, that's crazy. Because like, I know you, I've seen you, I've been out with you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And it's like, what does I guess whatever, I don't know what their definition or what they were looking for as far as sexy was,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, one, what does that have to do with your ability and your vocal talent and what you were being paid to do? It's like I wasn't auditioning to be a stripper or a porn star. Trying to sing. So what does the one, what does that have to do with the other?
Right.
But as we see in society, unfortunately, it's like that almost trumps talent nowadays.
Yeah. What you look like is very, very important. And
Right.
it's unfortunate because we have a lot of gifted people that don't look like what they think they're supposed to look like, and they're being passed by, and it's unfortunate.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about this sexy thing, because I personally feel like sexy doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what you wear, or your hair or your skin. Like that to me is not sexy. Like
Right.
when I see a woman or a man and I'm like, oh, that's sexy, it's the whole embodiment of them.
It's
It's that,
everything.
right, it's the aura, it's the essence, it's that, when they walk in the room. But that's not the typical vision or thought process of sexy.
Right.
So when they called you and said this, like, what was your response? Like, what did you say to these people? Did you ask them like what they were looking for?
No,
Okay.
because I think the thing that is sexy about me is that I know who I am and I know what I bring to the table. And so I was not moved. I mean, I was not. It kind of struck me because I was like, "Are you kidding me? You don't think I'm sexy?" I was like, "What?"
Like
But I
outrageous.
also, but I also was like, it wasn't for me, and I had to move on
Right.
from that because even if they found somebody that wore a two-piece bathing suit, they would not be able to connect with their audience like I can. They would not be able. So instead of me trying to plead my case, I was just like, okay, thank you, because I'm
Got
moving
you.
on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and there you go. So you mentioned the two-piece bathing suit. So I'm gonna jump into our first subtopic of
Get
I am
into it.
not my clothes.
Hmm.
And I feel like that has become, I guess, almost the pinnacle definition of sexy is what you
Hmm.
have on and what you wear. And I was having a conversation with one of my good friends who's been a guest on the show before, Deshaun Black, and I was asking him, um, how did he feel about that? And like, if to him, the more scantily clad a woman is dressed, or the tighter her clothes are, or the more her boobs are pushed up, or anything like that, like, does he find, to him, is that sexy? And
Hmm.
he was like, no, that's trashy.
Let's
He
talk
said
about
that's
it.
not, and he was like, not to knock a woman that does it. He was like, but that's not sexy to me. He was like, because he said to him, a woman that can walk in, relatively decently dressed and still draw attention is sexy. Like to him, that's like, I want to know who's that. Like, because it's clear, what I'm saying? The woman that walks in half naked, it's clear why people are looking,
Yeah.
or why there's the attention.
Right.
But when you can draw that attention and captivate a room
Yeah, man.
without having to do that, he's like, that's kind of like, oh,
Yeah. It's intriguing. It's interesting. You know,
right.
all my life I've grown up. I've been the tomboy of the
Hmm.
family, and always the one wearing big clothes that are too big for me. And even now as a grown adult, sometimes I just want to wear my sneakers, man. I don't want to wear these heels. A man invented the heels, okay, and I'm sick of it because I want to wear some. I want to be comfortable.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And there is a way for you to be comfortable. There is a way for you to be confident and still exude sexy. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? Like it
I
doesn't
agree.
have to be the extra things. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be all
It
that.
doesn't have to be that. And
No.
again, for all my women that are listening that like to wear, I don't want y'all to feel like this is an attack on you. It's
Definitely
not an
not.
attack on your choice and your preference of attire.
Hmm.
This is more a conversation of that being the defining factor of you're sexy.
Right.
Um, because I mean, I've seen women out who've had on these scantily clad outfits, and it was just like, and again, I've seen some that have had those outfits on, but there was still a different aura to them. Like it was still something outside of what they had on that
Hmm.
made it be like, okay, I mean, her titties out, but it's something else. And then I've seen some that where it was like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Because it doesn't have anything to do with what you have on. It has
exactly,
nothing to do with it, man. What
exactly,
What about your poise? Like, do you have class? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you be amongst, you know,
right.
everybody? Can you be in different spaces and still hold yourself
Captivate, right,
and be present and
right,
be a presence? You know what I'm saying? I
exactly.
think that that's important.
Yeah. And I mean, like with many things, I blame media because they have made it so that that imagery is what's pushed in the forefront. Like I think of hip hop, and you look at
Mm,
the female hip hop legends of the past that did not have to do that and have had extensive careers that have gone on to do, bigger and greater things
yeah,
and did
man.
it fully clothed. And it
Yeah.
seems like now it's like if you don't got everything hanging out with lashes that touch the ceiling and a weave down to your ankles
Hmm.
and every body by Mattel part, that it's like, yeah, sorry, we don't know how to market that. We don't know what to do with that. And so we've created this image for young girls growing up that when they get of age, or even before they get of age, because I
Yeah.
see some teenage and young girls, and I see their parents put them in stuff, and I'm like, you do know there's predators out here. Like, please take that off your child.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
lot.
but it's become the norm of what's attractive, what's sexy, what's appealing, is that you have to put everything out there
Right.
to get attention. Like you got to put everything out there. And it's like, I don't know.
I think you said something that's very, very special. There was you said that you've seen some people, some women wearing a certain type of clothing, but then you with the type of vision you have. I don't want to get too extra, right? But you have a certain type of vision you
Hmm.
can see, and so because you can see, you see, you perceive that there is more to this person than just that, right?
Right.
But
Right.
everybody's not thinking that way, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's,
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of, even with men, it is my understanding that what they see is the first thing that gets them, yeah.
Mhm.
But what they always learn, hey, come on, you're gonna learn it, is that
Okay.
everything that you see is not necessarily what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
And
from a
that's why it's
distance.
important to build who you are from the inside out. That's why
Okay.
that's important. Who are you?
Who are you? I tell people all the time. From a distance, salt and sugar look the same.
Hmm. And it do.
It looks exactly the same.
And it
So
do.
if you are going, so if the only thing that's there for you is the eye and that what you can see, you can be very easily and very quickly deceived.
Deceived. Ooh wee. Yeah, that's real right now.
Because
Ooh,
you mess
chopping and
around,
changing.
you mess around and put too much of that in your coffee and realize you done poured a whole bag of salt in there. You're not gonna want to drink it.
Nasty. I'm gonna take a sip too.
Just saying. You might want to do a little bit. You might want to look a little deeper, because if you
Yeah,
get
man.
close enough, if you
Hmm.
get close enough, The grains are different.
Yeah.
So if you get close enough, you're like,
Come
okay, wait, nope,
on.
nope, that's not it. But from far enough away, salt and
Get
sugar
it
look very
away.
identical.
That's facts. That's facts. Yeah.
So
You got to dig deeper.
you gotta dig. You gotta before we even get to the dig deeper. You gotta look closer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Facts.
You gotta just look a look. Gotta look a
Mm-hmm.
little closer.
Yeah, I
Take
agree.
30 more seconds.
Come on, because time will show you.
Okay.
Oh, time. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely.
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Let me hop over to our comments real quick. See who we got up here. Oh, we got my girl Shell Mac in the building. Shelly. Let's see what she
Hey.
had to talk. She said, she wrote back, she said, I am not my clothes. That's right. Let them know.
Yeah, that's right.
NDRE got a whole song. I'm not my hair. I'm not my
Mm-hmm.
clothes. All that. Shell, don't laugh at me, my body by Mattel parts. I'm just saying. You
That's
know this
funny.
is truth
That's
hurts.
funny.
You already know how I do. You already know. Um, but yeah, it's very disheartening. Like um that we can create such stigmatizing results and such mentally traumatic experiences
Mm-hmm.
for people, young and grown, by making them feel like if they don't have this, if you don't wear that, you're not this.
Yeah.
And it people will kill themselves to try to become this image of what has been said is sexy. Because I mean, I don't know man or woman, but I mean, usually the term sexy is used more for women.
For
But
women.
I
Mhm.
feel like I see some sexy men.
Correct.
Um, I don't know a woman on this planet that does not want to feel sexy,
Right.
that does not want to be seen as sexy. Um, and when you restrict them to the fact that forget everything you've accomplished in life, forget all of your accolades, forget how smart, forget everything else. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't fit this mold, you'll never be sexy.
Right.
That's hard. That's harsh
Yeah.
for people. Um, and we've somehow created this misconception
Mm-hmm.
and the misuse of the word sexy.
I agree. I agree. I feel like that's why we have um, a lot of people that are going and changing completely who they are, what they look like, to look like somebody else. It's like, I'm sorry, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like the way that you are, the who you are in your like to the core is it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
you have to appreciate that. I think that all of these things, like the surgeries and stuff like that, I think that these things were made for to help, like if somebody gets into like a car accident or and
hmm
they need to do something or something, a illness or something, you know what I'm saying, like, but I think that it's gone a little bit too far,
yeah,
with trying to just be, you want to have big boobs and you want to have all of this, and it's like you're deforming something that was already perfect. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
And some of them out here messing themselves up to the point where they ended up in the hospital sick and just really jacked up. And it's like, again,
Crazy.
I don't want to talk bad or down upon anyone that has done it, because it's less of what you're doing and more of why you're doing it.
Hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
doing it to seek approval and to seek acceptance, and to fit into someone else's fragmented mindset of what is okay, you will forever be transforming yourself. You
Listen
will
to me.
forever, because people, it will change.
Yeah. I was walking
So
through the airport the other day and I saw a group of young ladies sitting, out of my peripheral. and I saw like a group of young ladies, maybe three or four of them, and I kid you not, there was not one of them that looked different. They all had we like no, like legit. I was like,
No, I
wow.
believe it.
It's like okay, so they all had the long straight hair, and all of their hair was the same color, black, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the lashes,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had like the nails or whatever. And I'm like, you don't want to just look like you, like
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
what? Where is this model that everybody is trying to look like? Where
In
is
the
the?
media,
I'm
in the
like,
media, in the strip club, on the music videos, in the
come on.
movies.
I don't think it's all right. I don't like it. You know what I'm
No,
saying? From
and
a
the funny
young
thing is,
girl.
it's a trend. It's a
Yeah, it's
fad,
crazy.
and it changes. Cause I mean, was it a year or two ago when the Love Your Melanin was popping? Everybody wanted 4C curls and an afro and twist and dreads, and it was like we gonna be natural and we gonna love it. And I was like, this ain't new. Like,
We
like
been.
now you want to celebrate what God gave me naturally now? Like, oh, now that you said it's acceptable, it's okay for me to wear my natural hair, or it's
Mm,
okay for me to not wear makeup, or it's not, oh, because you said so, now it's okay. I'm like, God said so when he made it. Like, I was done.
I think a lot of it has to do with fear too. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Fear of what we all want is to feel a part of. I think that's an innate thing that all humans have,
Hmm.
to want to be a part of something. That's why we join religions. That's why we join groups, and this we have our friends, our cliques, whatever. So I think that sometimes we think that if we are just 100% our authentic selves, so okay, when I got home, I was thinking to myself, I need to go grab a shower. I need to, put on a little bit of makeup. I need to do something,
Hmm.
whatever. And I was just like, yeah, no.
You said, you was like, damn it, I'm sexy too.
Just like this, coming from the gym. Yeah, just
Listen.
like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's all right. You don't always have to be on. It's like
Yeah,
people feel like you have to always present something. Everything is not going to always be presentable.
it's
So
not.
I think that's when I started to appreciate reality TV. Like when I think Keisha Cole, her family was like the first one that I saw, and I was like, damn, I feel like I know Keisha. Like that's my girl, like because it brought us in to not just seeing her. Oh, that artist. Oh, I love her music. It was a
Hmm.
little bit. It got a little bit deeper,
Hmm.
And I
And
and I
then
thought that
reality
was
TV
beautiful.
became not reality.
You're right, but
Then
that's something
reality
else.
TV became scripted.
Right,
But yeah,
but you
no,
definitely.
it's a really sad and touchy thing that the world has told us who you are as you are is not okay.
Mm,
It's like you're cool, but and I remember years ago, and I'm gonna touch on this a little bit more in one of my other subtopics, but for those of you that know or that don't know, I used to be a big girl, like a big girl. And I remember one of my friends, coworkers, he was a guy, and he was driving me home from work because I think I was in high school still, like early college at the time. And he, so that I didn't have to take the train home, he was like, oh, I'll give you a ride home. I'm like, cool. And we were just talking, um, and he was like, Mel, he was like, he was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, he was like, even this, it was like his words was like disrespectful because he was like, even at your size, he was
mm,
like, you're like an 8,
mm.
as if to say like I was supposed to be honored that I was
For
like that I
yeah,
was
yeah.
that even because I was big, I was like, oh, you're an 8. And
Mm,
he was like, you're really like an 8. He was like, you're a really pretty girl. He's like, even he was like, but I probably, he's like, if you lost a little bit, he was like, yo, you would be a 10 easy. And I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, you should check your numbers again." I said, "Because I'm a 10 already."
Yeah, and people don't understand what they do when they just talk out the side of their mouth like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People used to tell me, "Oh, you know, you're pretty for a skinny girl." What?
Right. It's like, why does
What are you
why does the
saying?
compliment have to come with a disclaimer?
Like that's ugly. It's ugly.
Right. And so you just said we talked about big small, but I'm gonna hop into my next topic here.
Shoot.
Sexy shade. And this can go two ways.
Okay.
This is one, this the sexy shade is being shady with kind of what like what we were just talking about. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you're pretty for a big girl. Oh,
Uh-huh.
you're pretty for a
A
skinny girl.
dark girl.
And so that's the second part of sexy shade is this skin complexion in shades where sexy almost has been denoted as lighter. And so as we are on two somewhat different sides of the spectrum, it's a great conversation. Because I know I used to want chocolate skin. I used to think it was so gorgeous and like and I
It
couldn't
is.
understand why it was like so frowned upon. I mean, clearly I get it from slavery times, but I used to think that that chocolate brown like I used to and I remember growing up like I felt like all my chocolate friends like they didn't have like blemishes, like they dark spots didn't show as much like
Girl.
their
Girl, girl,
skin was
girl.
I'm like, "Ooh, y'all cocoa skin is just awesome."
Listen to me.
And
It's beautiful.
it is.
I love me some chocolate skin. You hear me?
Right.
Do you
And
hear
it's
me?
sad though that like two women could walk in a room and
Mm,
you could take let's even just take let's say we got twins. They look the same, they got the same features, the same body shape, everything. But one is light and one is dark.
yeah.
Simply because her skin is lighter. And I'm gonna preface this with up until recently where now chocolate is in.
Mm-hmm.
Melanin is celebrated now. But
Yeah.
up until very recently, simply because her skin was lighter would make her sexier
Prettier,
or prettier
better.
or more appealing or more attractive. Um, and even the flip side, I've seen two women where to me, the chocolate woman physically was clearly way more attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But because she was lighter, it was like it gave her bonus points. And I was
Yeah.
like, are y'all looking at what I'm looking at? Because that face is jacked. But
I think that we do it to ourselves. Black people do it to black people. You know what I'm saying? Um,
talk about it.
it's something that it was, ingrained in us from back in time, when, you know, how house niggas would be on the inside and then everybody else, the others would
Mm-hmm.
be outside in the field working. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's just following us, and it's followed us, unfortunately. Like I look at when I look at old pictures of little Kim, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about little Kim because it hurts me. It hurts me. Oh, every time I see her, I be like, "This, what are you doing?" Like she was so fly. She was so gorgeous with her broad nose, with her full lips. She was gorgeous. I don't understand.
And
Like,
I don't even know
she
who
looked
she
like
is.
a totally different person.
Mm-hmm. Every
All these
facially,
beautiful,
by everything, she's
beautiful,
just unhappy. But that's because
terrible.
again, she wants to sustain in an industry that has said. And the crazy part is
No.
her being a pioneer in this industry and all that she has accomplished, the fact that she still feels like she
Yeah,
has to conform
it's sad.
is a huge like billboard to show how real this stigma of sexy and what its definition is affects.
Yeah.
Because it's like with all your accolades, with all your accomplishments, with everything you've done, you still don't feel like you as you are enough.
Right. And you are little Kim.
If you
You
watch this, I mean, that
are
would be amazing if you ever saw this. But if you see it, we love you. But no,
just the way
I mean,
you
it's
are.
it's a clear depiction of how, with our topic, like it's not about what you've done, it's not about what you've accomplished, it's not about your personality, it's not about who you are as a person, it's not about
Mhm.
any of that. It literally is all about how you look, and that's it. And then it's like, okay, you've checked this box, okay, now let's look at everything else and see where we can put you. But before you
Mhm.
can even get to A, we got to see what you look like. And it's like,
Right.
why?
Yeah, that's real. It's terrible.
Why? And who said there was a universal standard
Mhm.
of sexy?
Can I tell you what I was wearing for that audition video?
Yes, ma'am. What were you wearing?
Listen to me. I was wearing a black a black like gown, right? It was like a cocktail dress,
Mm-hmm.
just over my knees,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a deep V cut. So
Mm-hmm.
I was giving all
You
type
was
of cleavage. I
giving.
was, you know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
cleavage given, and it was a spaghetti strap, and it was a fitted, like
Mm-hmm.
a fitted dress. So you saw my shape,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, even if even if consciously I wasn't like trying to fit a standard, I
Mm-hmm.
just like the dress. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even if I wasn't trying to fit a standard, I had skin out. My
Right.
arm was all out, so I had a little cleavage, and I'm like, even up to your standards, that's like sexy, right? Like, cause I got
No,
cleavage.
listen.
So I'm like,
I
what?
listen.
Where do
I
you think
think,
we're
my
talking
friend, I
about?
think you sexy. Period. Like, it don't matter what you got on, but that's because of it's what you exude when you walk into a room. It's that confidence. But I realized it's like your hair, like you got short hair now, and it so like to them that's like it can be. And here's the funny thing: in the modeling world, that's considered avant garde.
Right.
It's like très chic. But in regular society, it's like. But it depends because Amber Rose was
Bald head,
ball
bald head.
blonde and killing it. Um, but she was ball blonde with all her everything. So it was like, okay, well, you fit this, so we that don't matter. That's okay, And
Yes.
then you chocolate. So it's like it makes it very hard to figure out, like, well, what is it? Because it's like, well, I give you this, but it's like, I mean, yeah, you gave me that, but then I need the hair. And so I give you the hair, then it's like, oh, well, you got the hair, but now I need more booty. Oh, it's a never ending cycle of
Yeah.
what do I need to do? What do I have to change to be this status quo of sexy? And
I
it's like,
refuse.
I really want to know who created this universal symbol of sexy, because what's sexy to you is not sexy to this one, and not everybody. What is appealing to everyone is different.
Yeah.
And who says you're only sexy if?
Yeah. I feel like we I, we have to really just. It goes back to knowing who you are, and you just have to be secure in yourself. You know what I mean? Because if not, then you're going to be comparing yourself, and you're going to be looking to your left and to your right.
All
And
the
what you
time.
really need to be, the only, like I hear people say, the only person that you're competing with is you. So if you don't like the way you look, then you change it.
For
But
you.
for you. But if you don't like the way you look compared to Shannon over here, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's that's not the
It's just,
move.
it's
Because
not,
there's no
because,
such Shannon as Shannon, and you are you. So why are you trying to look like Shannon? It's nuts.
and it's such confusion because you have skinny girls out here trying to get thick. You got thick girls trying to get skinny. You got light skinned girls trying to tan and get dark. You got dark skinned girls trying to bleach to get light. It's like everybody confused.
Nobody is happy with who
Because
they
they
are,
don't
what
know.
they are.
Right. Everybody confused because guess what? The standard of sexy changes every week. This week, melanin is popping. Next week, you got to be light. This week, natural is in. Next week, you got to have straight perm. This week, and you just bouncing like a ping pong ball every which way, and nobody knows what to do.
Yeah.
Light skin,
It's
you
a
know what I'm
lot.
saying? Like I said, it's all the opposites. If the skinny girls think, oh, I need to be thicker. The thicker girls think, I need to be skinny. Everybody's trying to fit this invisible mold of perfection that's deemed to be sexy and then end up destroying yourself in the process. And I'm gonna tell you what's not sexy. I don't care if you got the best shape on the planet, the best hair, the best eye color, the best lashes, the best nails. I don't care if you got all of that. Self hate is not sexy.
No,
Self
not at all.
destruction is not sexy. And you can have all of that. But if inside you are broken and damaged, it is not attractive.
I'll tell you what is sexy. Therapy.
Healing.
You know what I'm
Healing
saying?
is sexy.
Intentional. Being living life intentionally. Not
Purpose.
just, yeah, not just allowing life to happen to you, but you happen to life. You feel what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like that's sexy to me. I'm like, oh, all right.
Listen, I don't care how fine you are. Ain't nothing sexier, male or female, to me than someone that has figured it out, has put the work in, is is self assured is self assured, and is comfortable in their skin. And see, comfortable. Sometimes I look at people who are trying to fit into this mold and they look uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You ever see, like, and I don't, I mean, sexy is more women, but you ever see women out in the club and they be in these little half outfits and all night they doing this? Like, you can't even sit,
Girl,
you can't enjoy
I got talk
every
into this camera.
second, every second you trying to, like, make sure, is it in, is it out, is it in, is it, you can't move, you can't walk, I mean, and it's like,
Please.
and it's like, you're not comfortable.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Because I promise you, all that fidgeting, no matter how tight, cute, whatever, all that fidgeting is not attractive.
Just
Because you
listen.
look uncomfortable.
I had a gig at the Hard Rock, and during my break, I just kind of walk out to the front, and I'm watching as people are walking by. These women look so uncomfortable walking, like, and the men have no clue, so they're just walking and pretty much like dragging the women. I mean, there's something about a woman that can just kind of get in her heels and she just kind of strut and walk. I think that's a vibe. But if you're struggling in the doggone shoes, just take them off.
Like, am off.
Girl, go
No,
go go give me my slides, please. Thank you.
but again, this is that internal need to fit into this preconceived notion of sexy. Like, oh, I can't be sexy if I wear that, or if I don't. And I'm like, you look uncomfortable. You look miserable. You look unsure of yourself.
Yes.
And so here we go with my final topic, subtopic, sexy confidence. To me,
Mm-hmm.
that is it. When you can walk in and you could care less who, where, what, and you walk in like, yeah, I'm here. Whether I got on a business suit, pantsuit, bodycon dress, pum shorts, whichever,
All of it.
whatever you have on, when you just walk in the room and you are confident and secure in yourself, baby.
All of it.
And so I mentioned earlier, I was like, I'm gonna touch on this when I get to this topic. And I remember as this weight loss thing, like I remember now looking back at some photos, and I was like, damn. At the time, in my head, I did not know I was that big. But
Mm.
you couldn't tell me nothing.
And what about it?
Like, you could not tell me anything. Okay? I was gonna be fashionable. I was gonna be stopped out, and you couldn't tell me a word, and it didn't matter what the scale said because I was like, yeah, and I was so into like that. I was whatever that, like I said, looking back at the pictures now, I was like, back then I don't remember. Like I was like, it wasn't prevalent
That's
in my
awesome.
mind at the time. Like, oh, this is a problem because I was like, and I feel like looking back honestly now, I almost feel like I was probably less self conscious
Mm.
and more confident then than I was when I first like lost weight.
Yeah.
I feel like I was way more like self conscious and insecure then than I was when I was big. And I was like, listen, love it or leave it. I'm good. But
Love that.
then when I kind of transitioned over to the other side, it became a little bit more like aware because now it's like, oh wait, um, what
Yeah.
am I? And it was
Yeah.
crazy to me. I couldn't understand it, and it's
Mhm.
like it's that sexy confidence when you just. I have some friends like remember in college I had a friend and she was like a big girl, like not just big. This she was like 5'11", like she was tall and she was like body thick bone, and you couldn't tell her nothing. And we would go out, and I tell you, guys would flock to her. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
we got one in our diamond rider, our sparkle coach. She a thick sister, taught everything. And when I tell you, baby, when she walk in the room,
Everybody's
she
like, who's
she
that?
is the light, and it's
Yeah.
just the confidence in it. And to me, that is what makes her so sexy. So, like when a woman is just that's and not cocky,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, not arrogant, not not that, but when you are just secure in and for men too, when you are just secure in who you are and what you have and what you're doing, whether you got a whole lot or a little bit, when you are just like, listen, I am who I am, and hey, it's something about that is undeniable.
Check this out. So you started off by reading a definition,
Hmm.
and I think like the word that keeps ringing is confidence,
Hmm.
right? So one of the definitions says a feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
So that didn't have nothing to do. That don't have nothing to do with what you got on, how much you weigh, what your complexion look like, what your if your eyelashes are really really long or short, if you got on makeup or you don't, if you know what I'm saying, like that ain't got nothing. It says arising from one's appreciation, the way that I appreciate
Right.
my own abilities and qualities. So that's 100% to me. I think I'm gonna say yes. That's 100% what sexy is all about. It's about
It,
confidence.
it's
It's
confidence
about you loving what you got and what you bring. You know what I'm saying?
and being okay with whoever don't want it.
Yeah, we ain't worry about them.
It's it's such, and
Can't.
we need to really. I feel like that is what we really need to start teaching and embodying in our young ladies and even and our young men,
Absolutely.
both in for themselves, but then also for when they look at other people.
Hmm.
Um, because if not, we are gonna forever be chasing an unreachable, unattainable goal.
Facts.
It doesn't exist.
Facts.
And it doesn't exist because it's ever changing.
Listen. My daughter, she's the most unique person that I know. And
More
some of
unique.
some of the risk that she takes, fashion risks,
Mm-hmm.
I just be like, I wish at 20 years old I had the type of confidence that this young lady has.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like, Mom, Mom, this is what I'm wearing today. I'm like, is that I don't you look like you look like what do you I don't know. What are we going
What
for
is that?
today? What
What
are
is
we
this?
going for today? And she's like, this is what I felt like. This is what I felt. So
Right.
this is what we going for whatever I feel today. And I'm like, ooh, I love it. And I think the more that we exercise um, loving ourselves and being confident in our own abilities and qualities, I
Mm-hmm.
think that we will be able to be a light for other people as well. You know, and I believe that there's been more awareness of this, and people are being more just keen to it, just noticing, oh, this person is really, really confident. And I want to be confident like that too. And it's like encouraging. It's kind of like it's a fire. It's a it's taking long to catch for everybody to catch it. But I think that it is something that's catching on. Um, Although there are a lot of people that are trying to mimic, there are a lot of people that are being the best, the best that they know how to be. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And being okay with
There-
that.
because there's not a lot of examples of it. So you mentioned India Ari. India Ari is an example of it, but
Mhm.
not a lot of people are seeing India Ari because of that same issue.
Exactly. But I
They're
look at
seeing
some of our
something
icons
else.
though. You look
Huh?
at people, so you look at some of like the real big major icons like out now. And I wish that even I mean they get clearly shine and recognition, but I wish that not they speak on it often, but I wish the media would push it more. But of course that's not what they want. But you look at people like Angela Bassett and Taraji P. Henson, and Sanaa Lathan, and even Halle Berry and Janet Jackson. Like these women are, by all accounts, Gabrielle Union are sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know anybody that would be like, no, they're not. But they're sexy, period. And this leads me to my little last point. I'm sexy, period. And I intentionally titled the show "I'm Sexy Too," and I want to end with "I'm Sexy," period, because there's no need for the two. Because there's no need for the comparison. You don't need to be "I'm sexy too." No, I'm sexy, period.
Yeah.
I'm me, period.
And it's good. Get into it. And it's good.
Right? Like I don't
Yeah.
need the
Yeah.
two. I don't
Mhm.
need the. It's just like that extra butt, like the when we talked earlier about the like you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. No, I'm pretty, period.
Yeah.
You're pretty for a big girl. No, she's pretty, period.
Correct. Correct. I got a message. I'd like to read it. Is that cool?
Sure.
The message says, "Good men are attracted to confidence. Narcissists narcissists are are attracted to low confidence.
Oh yeah, because you're easily manipulable.
Manip- Manipulation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you're putting
Absolutely.
whatever you're putting out, you are absolutely attracting something.
Absolutely. You you tell people how to view you, how to treat you, how to approach you. You dictate all of that by what you put out, by what you wear, by what you say, by what
Mhm.
you do. And I did a show a while back and we were talking about when is it too much or not enough. And we were talking about like the role, masculine and feminine roles of like women now stepping into a lot of more, masculine, like sliding into DMs and they were proposing to us at that time. And
Right,
that's what
right.
it's about. But
I don't like that.
um it's like you determine all of that. And this is not to say you can't wear what you want to wear,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if I get up today and I decide that I'm going to put on a police uniform, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a police officer, I'm not a cop.
Right.
But I woke up today and I decided to
Good
put
morning.
on, that's how I feel. I want to put on a police, that's how I feel today,
Okay.
and walk outside, right?
Yes.
I can then not be offended or upset if people think I'm the police,
Yeah.
right? Now, what I'm about to say might offend some of you. The title of this show is called Truth Hurts.
Mm.
So, as I always say, if you came to the show without your band aids, you came unprepared.
My.
So, I say
Okay.
that to say, if you get up and you put on a hose uniform,
Oops.
don't be offended,
Oh.
shocked, or taken aback when that's how you are approached. It's just you are aware of what you put on. And this was last summer, and I remember this. I was coming out of the convenience store, and a girl was getting out her car. She very voluptuous booty, the thick girl. She got her car.
Mm-hmm.
She had on a sundress.
Come on, booty.
She had on obviously zero undergarments. Like breast was dead, nipples pointed out, everything, and she walked by a group of gentlemen. And so
Mm-hmm.
they looked and, damn. And she was upset. And I was like, but ma'am. In my head, I'm like, you woke up this morning, you put on this dress, and you made the conscious decision
To leave your house.
to come outside with no
Uh-huh.
bra, no panties on. And you are aware that you got a whole lot happening.
Yeah.
That was a choice. Again, I'm not knocking your choice. But understand that it's going to come with certain attention. Do I feel like, am I saying that it's okay for you to be disrespected or called out because of what you wear? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am, however, saying that be aware of the fact that certain things draw certain attention.
Yeah.
If I go outside and I'm flashing money and guns and stuff like that, and I'm giving an impression,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot then be upset if someone looks at that and thinks something that I am portraying.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for that. You can defend it. You can, that's all fine. But you should not be shocked and awe and like confused as to why you're getting the attention that you're getting because you
Yeah.
got up and you put on that uniform.
Yeah. We have to be mindful.
Like
We do
I
have to be
step out, you
mindful.
know what I'm saying? I get dressed, I put on my things, but I'm conscious, especially because of like professionalism and when I want to walk in some place, I know when and where to wear what. I don't walk into business meetings in what I would wear to a club. I don't do it. I could. It's a free country. But if I did that and I walked in and they didn't take me seriously, is that their fault or mine?
Mm,
Because you walked in projecting a certain image.
correct.
And it wasn't even something that you were like, yep, I'm clearing this and I'm good. Because people have done it and still, worked it because of how they presented themselves. But it's like we get into this stage of we do things we do things because we feel like that's what we need to do to be perceived as sexy. And then when we do them and we don't get the reaction that we want, we get offended. But it was like you were putting on a show to begin with.
Yeah.
So you can't be upset at the clowns that want to watch the circus. Like you can't. You you were putting on a show. You weren't being your authentic self. You were trying to fit a mold. You were trying to fit an image. And what people saw was the facade.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you get
saying, people
offended.
are seeing right through it. Right through it. Yeah. We got to be careful when we have to focus on we have to we have to keep the main thing. And the main thing is really what's happening on the inside,
Yeah.
you know?
Be confident.
Building
Confident
up
in yourself.
that confidence. Building up your self-worth. Self-worth. This is self-esteem. This is what you give to yourself. Nobody out here can give us self-esteem. It's what we perceive ourselves to be. What your perception of you. You know what I'm saying? So we really gotta we focus on we're focusing on all of these outer things, but what's happening on the inside is what matters the most.
Yeah. And
And
the funny part, what you said about that self esteem, no one can give you self esteem. And
uh-huh.
the crazier part is no one can take it away unless you give them permission to.
Hmm.
You have to give them the okay to do that.
Yeah, man.
I think, who was it? Was it Kevin? No, Cat Williams. I think it was Cat Williams in the show. He was like, "How can I mess up your self esteem?" He's like, "It's called self esteem." He's like, "It's esteem of yourself." He was like, "How can?" And it's
That's
true.
true. Yeah.
It's self esteem, and the problem, and even learning in this with my own growth and my own, going to therapy and stuff like that. It's like, oh well, I went through this stuff and it messed with my self esteem, and it was like, no, these people didn't mess with your self esteem. What happened is you let yourself change or try to fit in or conform to these
Mm.
situations
Yeah.
that have now affected your self esteem, but you did it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
allowed yourself to be in these situations and these things and allowed these people's opinions or thoughts or whatever to affect how you viewed yourself. And that's where this whole thing, even from what defines sexy, we have to stop letting other people tell us how we feel about ourselves.
Hmm.
I'm sexy, period. And I want to be like, period.
Yeah.
Okay,
I dig
that's
it.
it. It's there's
I
nothing more
dig it.
to it. It's not about what I look like. It's not about what I wear. It's not about
Hmm.
how I wear my hair. It's not about my skin color. It's not about anything. It's about who you are.
We have a lot of we have a lot of people. So this has been, like we said, it's been something that's been going and going, right? So
Mhm.
a lot of people have been living in this and practicing this over and over.
Mhm.
So if you don't mind, I'd like to just send out a word of encouragement. So
Hold it.
okay, I'm holding it.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Because we're about to go into our final thoughts, and our final thoughts, we're gonna go
Okay,
into our little drop our gems, and so
okay.
we're gonna give our little gems in captions. So I want you to hold that
I'm holding it.
for the gems. Hold it. Um, we could be on here talking all day
Yeah, man.
on this because it is such a touchy subject, and I think both you and I on different sides of the industry, but
Hmm.
in the industry nonetheless. Um, it's something that we encounter far too often, as women and as Black women
Hmm.
in the entertainment industry. There's been a status quo set of what we need to do and look like and be to be sexy.
Yeah.
Um, and we have to stop allowing ourselves to succumb to what has been told to us is the definition of
Okay.
sexy. Because even when I read in the beginning the definition of sexy, it didn't constitute what were the terms of it.
Mm-hmm.
It nowhere in it, like you read, it didn't nowhere in the sexy did it say sexy means you dress a certain way or you a certain complexion or it
Right.
didn't say any of that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop allowing people to change the definition of sexy. Webster, dictionary.com, they've already defined it's defined, it's in there, it's done. We don't need anybody else to come in and try to change the definition for us or add their cliff notes to the end of it of what it is. No, this is the definition.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Point blank, period. But I want to thank you so
Yeah.
so 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 much
Thank you. Thank you.
for joining me today on Truth Hurts.
I'm grateful.
It was an amazing show. And so before we get off, I'm going to let you, of course, let people know, give your final thoughts, and then let people know where they can follow you, where they can get more information about you, and all of
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So I'll start with the final thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I think I'm going to be referencing this book quite a bit. I've recently gone through the book Will, and something that he explained was his him and his brother had to build a wall.
Mm.
And what they were focusing on the fact that they had to build this big, big wall. But what his father helped them to redirect their focus to is laying one brick at a time.
Mm.
And um, this is something that is happening worldwide. It's something that's happening, and it's deeply rooted in our culture. And but it is something that can be shifted one brick at a time. So when people if you say, all right, I'm gonna stay true to who I am, I'm gonna be at my most authentic self. If you feel yourself swaying and kind of going with what you hear and what you see, as long as you catch yourself and you bring yourself back to where you know you need to be, and you get back to laying the foundation and laying the one brick at a time, I encourage you to just keep going. And every time, if you move again, come back again and get back planted. You know what I'm saying? Because this is something that it runs deep. It runs
Mm.
real deep, man. Um, so I want to encourage you, just making a mistake or cutting your hair or growing your hair because of you saw somebody, it's okay. Just be encouraged and keep coming back to your foundation and get back planted. um, you can follow me at Lavi Music, LAVIEMUSIC. Or you can go to my website, which Miss Mel created. Ow! So please go to the website. It's sexy.
Ew.
Lavi-music, lavi-music.com. And it has everything that I got going on, from my nonprofit, to the product that I'm going to be selling soon, to the music, to upcoming shows and different things of that nature. So, yeah.
Yes, y'all go check out my sexy friend, Ian, with all her chocolateness. So I appreciate you for coming on. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today,
Thank you
who
guys.
left a comment. Um, I want to thank y'all. This was actually my first Truth Hurts episode for season 2. So
Nice.
I want to thank everyone here, everyone that commented, all of our Hustle and Shine supporters. We appreciate you. Um, at the end of the day, Point of it all is you are sexy as long as you believe you are sexy. Don't let anyone define for you what sexy means for you. It's not about what you wear. It's not about your hair color. It's not about your skin color. It's not about what you look like. It is about what you feel and what you think about you, i.e., your confidence. And as long as you walk in your confidence, I promise you, the people that need to see the sexy in you are going to see it. Those who don't see it, tough luck for them. But as you know, this is Truth Hurt, so I got to give you a Truth Hurt moment at the end. As I said earlier, put on the uniform that you want to be identified with. It's your choice. But if you're going to put on the uniform, be prepared for everything that comes with that position. And that's it. If you got cut, truth hurts. I'm sorry. I love you still, though. Again, this has been another episode of Truth Hurts on the Hustle and Shine podcast. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday for a Wednesday wind down with none other than our Queen Pen, Natima Cherie, every Wednesday live on Facebook and YouTube at the Diamond Riders. For more information, be sure to check us out at www.diamondriders.com. Make sure you like and subscribe our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. Follow us. We have some amazing things coming. Our next anthology will be coming in the spring, so be prepared for that. We'll have some more events and things coming up. So make sure you stay tuned and follow us, check in with us, and be connected with the Diamond Riders. So again, thank y'all so much. It's been an amazing Wednesday. Enjoy your Thanksgiving tomorrow, your turkey day, your gobble gobble day, whatever you choose to call it. Enjoy the day. And as I always say, continue to hustle and shine. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.